Today is May 8th and the Public Safety Commission meeting at 6 o'clock. We'd like to call to order, please.
Commissioner Flores,
Here.
Commissioner Lance,
Present.
Commissioner Sanchez,
Here.
and Chairman Lozano.
Donna, here.
Thank you.
Okay, I would like to say the Pledge of Allegiance now, if Charles would like to start us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Has everyone read the minutes from March 13? Do we have any changes, or we're all good with it? Everyone? Oh, wait, let me turn this off. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from March 13.
I'll second it.
Here we go. Alrighty. Sorry, I'm just turning this off. Okay. Okay, staff report. What is that one?
Madam Chair, just waiting on your vote.
Waiting on your vote.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's right here. Why not?
Motion passes unanimously.
We're good? Okay. Okay, I see we have no meeting, no one to speak?
That's correct.
Okay. Okay, the first order of business I see is, wait a minute, okay, is the selection of vice chairman. And we, as a committee here, we have decided to wait until we get the new appointed commissioner to vote on, so we can all vote for a new vice chairman. Next, we have the Community Resource Fair discussion, and Myrna Flores, our commissioner, is going to present that to us.
So what I wanted to bring to the community is a resource fair, a community resource fair, and I was thinking sometime in October. I have already talked to some agencies that said they would love to join our resource fair. So what I want from you guys is to give me a date of an idea, and I know and I understand that October gets really busy because that's when the weather changes,
Right.
so everybody wants to have their events. So what are your thoughts?
What would you be presenting at, or we would want to present at
So
this?
what I want to do, I want to bring resources into the community. It's kind of an educational resource fair for our community. So, and I'm going to bring other different entities.
And Madam Chair, if I can give you some information too. October is typically National Night Out.
Yes.
And the police department was planning on doing like an open house or something like that at National Night
Right.
Out. So if we want to combine
Yes.
these two events, I don't have the exact date that it is in October, but
Okay.
I can find that out. It's typically like a Wednesday or a Thursday. So I think that would be a good opportunity for just to kind of combine both of the events.
Yes, that would be great.
And we can hold it at the police department.
Okay,
Okay, that sounds good.
everybody okay with that?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't see anything else. We're right into our monthly reports. Animal control.
Good evening. I'll be presenting for Animal Control tonight. So for April 2025, Animal Control completed a total of 201 service requests. We had 56 intakes. 20 animals were returned to their owner. We adopted out 6 animals. 9 animals were sent to rescue. No animals were sent to CVAC. We sent 16 animals to the vet. There was 31 dead on arrivals. There was 1 animal that passed away in our care. 5 animals were euthanized. We issued 32 licenses, and we issued 21 citations. In April, we had 6 abandoned husky puppies come into our care that were in poor health when we first took them into our care. Our animal care staff and our volunteers were able to partner with a Humane Society of Truckee, Tahoe to get these puppies the care that they needed. And with no cost to the city, we were able to actually have those puppies flown out to the Humane Society out in Tahoe. And since then, all 6 of those puppies have been adopted to their forever homes. That was a good success story. Also, we had a dog that we seized we seized in 2023 by the name of Xandra. She was a shepherd mix. Xandra was also taken to a rescue that is a breed-specific rescue. And she will live out the rest of her life at a shepherd rescue, so she'll live out the rest of her kind.
Wow, that's nice.
We also had a new animal care tech staff start and a new animal control officer come on board. We held a clinic with the Animal Action League over at the animal care facility on Hacienda, and we were able to service 31 animals there.
Very nice.
That'll conclude my report, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
I think that's very special, all of this. This is all good stuff. I'm good. Anyone?
The vaccination part there, is that once a month thing, or is that something that happens?
Are you referring to the Animal Action League, the
Yeah.
SNP bus?
Mhm.
So it's a sponsored event. So if we have somebody that sponsors a bus to come to our facility,
Okay.
that's the only way that it comes out here.
Okay, nice.
Well, then that concludes our report for the animal control. Next up would be the code compliance.
Good evening again.
And there you are.
So in April 2025, code compliance received a total of, or we completed 90 service requests. We completed a total of 298 inspections. We issued out 56 notices of violations and 18 citations that totaled to $24,600. We're happy to announce that we were able to bring on board Randy Towner as a code compliance officer for our department, and he's already made great progress over there. So we're happy to have him on our team, and I'm happy to introduce him. Code compliance officer Michael Miller, he's done a lot of vacant lot cleanups this month. There was a lot, but one in specific was a vacant lot on Hacienda Avenue. It had a large accumulation of household items, junk, trash, and debris like scattered throughout the whole area, as well as like a dead brush and plant cuttings piled against the fence on the east side. He was able to work with the property owner to go and remove all the dead plants, all the foliage, all the junk trash, the household items, and as well, there was a large hole that was dug on the property. The property owner actually backfilled that hole and grubbed the entire vacant lot. So now it's a nice clean lot out there. That was a great success story, especially for that community in that area. We had our code compliance officer, Linda Human. She closed a long-standing case at 66365 7th Street. I believe that case has been open since about 2017. She was able to, it was an old hotel that's now an apartment complex. She was able to completely transform them, new ground coverage placed at the property. They got all their building permits. Now they're all permitted and legaled, and it's a safe place for people to live. So that's always good to hear. And then our AVA officer, Pam Chafin, she had 2 inoperable vehicles that were wrecked and they were parked in the public right-of-way. She sent out a notice of violation to both registered owners and to let them know of the violation. The property owners actually promptly responded in that case and removed them. That was a significant event because these cars were completely dilapidated on the street. So it was nice to be able to get rid of those and utilize the AVA program in order to get rid of those and be reimbursed by the county with the AVA program. That'll conclude my report, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
I'm always very impressed by the afters. The befores are really bad, and the afters, they're just always done very nicely. Does everyone cooperate nicely, or do you have to push anyone to do anything? Well, the truth.
So code compliance, we typically, we're not showing up and giving you good news. So usually when you're hearing from code compliance, we get a lot of pushback at first, but once we educate them a little bit and we make have an understanding, like a common ground with each other, and we speak to them They, most of the time, they will comply. Our goal in code compliance is always going to be voluntary compliance. If I could go a whole year without issuing a single citation, I would love that. But unfortunately, that's not the case, and I don't think that will ever be the case. So, but we do receive pushback frequently. Oftentimes, though, that is turned around to where we do gain voluntary compliance.
Oh, good, good. Anyone else?
Just thank you, because an hacienda, big difference, so thank you.
Glad you're noticing.
As far as Hacienda, is there any plans for that area that was recently cleared out?
On that one, I haven't seen any plans come through. I have spoke with the property owner a little bit. They say that they do have plans to develop on the land, but there's nothing confirmed right now. Right now, it's just her telling us what she intends to do with it. There's nothing confirmed right now.
Was that something forced by the city to have them clean up, or they did that on their own?
We did issue a notice of violation on
Okay.
that one, and then we had to work really closely with her, because when you're grubbing that large of an area, there's certain conditions you have to meet in order to stay in compliance with the AQMD. So you're not disturbing too much ground and causing a big dust storm. So when
Right,
she
right.
first did it, there was some dust that was getting kicked up, so we did have to have her go back in and lay down a chemical stabilizer, which is just a real thin, almost like a layer of glue just on the top to create a crust, so when the wind blows, it doesn't kick up all that dust and
Right.
damage our air quality.
Nice.
Thank you very much. Okay, fire department? Is he here? Nobody here tonight. Okay. All right. Police department, our police chief, Stephen Shaw.
All right, well, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
You have the crime stats and patrol stats in front of you. I'll just go over kind of real briefly on the patrol stats. Pretty consistent. Again, what we see for the month of April, 3,386 calls for service, with 93 arrests and 151 citations by the officers. For the crime stats, again, we had a relatively good month. You may have seen there's been, we did some news reports with NBC and with Desert Sun. The first quarter of this fiscal year, this calendar year, we have seen another reduction in our crime compared to the same quarter last year. So not all crime stats went down, but the majority of them did. Overall, aggravated assaults went down 26%, simple assaults went down 38%, robberies went down 35%, larceny went down 27%. We did see a little uptick in vehicle theft and burglary, but again, overall, our crime numbers went down 28% compared to the same quarter last year. So the efforts with the officers, with the community, everybody just working together, continue to help reduce those crime numbers. Still a lot of work to do, but we're headed in the right direction, and we want to keep that momentum going. And obviously, that's our goal. That's the community goal. I know it's the commission's goal here and stuff. So we're real excited with that. A few things going on with the police department in terms of staffing. Nobody new right now, but we got some folks really close. We have 2 individuals that will be starting the Riverside County Sheriff's County Police Academy in June 10th so they'll be starting the academy. So that's a 6-month academy. But we're sponsoring 2 individuals. Really excited about these 2 folks. One of them is born and raised here in Desert Hot Springs,
Oh,
graduated from Desert Hot Springs High School, so it's a local individual, so it's great to bring the local talent.
That's good.
We're really excited with him. And the other one is an individual that we're stealing away from Cal Fire. He's a fire engineer from Station 37. And he's moving over to the PD side. So 2 really great candidates, excited to have them start in the academy, like I said, in June, and that'll be 6 months. We'll get them through the academy and get them out here on the
that's
streets.
great.
We have one individual, a female, from the Coachella Valley area. She's graduating from the academy in July. She started in the academy as an open enrollee, meaning she was not sponsored by a police department. We were able to pick her up, and we are now sponsoring her in the academy. She graduates in July, so she'll be starting right away with us about mid-July. And then we have another 4 or 5 individuals going through backgrounds right now. So We'll get an influx once they get through backgrounds and get some of these folks out there and stuff, which will be really helpful for us. We have one new community service officer that's going through backgrounds right now. We're hoping to have him all done within the next month or so and bring him on board. And we have one dispatcher going through backgrounds. The dispatcher, if everything works out and we bring this person on, that'll get us full staffing and dispatch. Because we did have one dispatcher that a couple months ago, she did leave. Her family moved out of state. Otherwise, she'd still be with us, so she didn't leave for lack of, not liking the city and stuff like that. It was a family move that forced her to leave. But luckily, we had somebody just then also apply, so we're able to move quickly and grab that person, and we're working on getting them through background. So a lot of good stuff going on with the staffing. A couple things with the department you've heard me talking about since I took over. You've heard me talking about the community policing and assigning officers to community policing districts. We're using the voting districts that the city has already established, so there's 4 voting districts. I just wanted to give you an update on that. I haven't assigned specific officers yet, and the only reason I have not, and it's not that the officers aren't already out there doing that work and making those connections and those relationships with the community, but in July we do our shift change, and we change shifts every 6 months. Right. So instead of assigning officers right now, not knowing yet what the shift change is going to look like in July and then have to move some folks around, I'm just waiting until July, and that way folks are stable for at least 6 months, and then at that point I will have those assignments ready, so they'll be assigned specific districts for that. Our community response team, if you remember, this was our homeless outreach team. Our team works with Code and Public Works and with SWAG. We've added an extra officer on that, so now we have 2 full-time officers on our community response team. Their big function is working with the homeless and getting those resources out to the homeless. And then for those folks that don't want to take those resources, on the PD side is the enforcement part of it. And is there an enforcement component? Is somebody breaking the law, whether it's they have warrants, whether they're loitering, trespassing, using narcotics, that type of stuff. So it's not being homeless that's illegal, but there are crimes that are typically associated with that. And they're doing a lot of enforcement with that because the vast majority of folks that we're encountering out there right now, we have contacted, Code has contacted, SWAG has contacted numerous times, and they're refusing to take the resources that are out there and available to them. And so if they continue to do that, then we are going to do the enforcement component on that, and hopefully change something in their thinking that they'll take some of these resources, right, and help them get permanent housing or help them get the mental health that they might need, or the drug addiction counseling, that type of thing that might need. So, but it's nice to have 2 full-time officers on that. Typically they are working during the week, but they're mixing up their days and their hours so that folks don't get comfortable with when they're going to be around. Hopefully you've seen a difference, particularly along the main corridor areas through Desert Hot Springs. That's really where they're focusing a lot of their efforts. But again, if you see something out there, just let us know, and we'll get out there and we'll make contact with them, and again, offer those resources, and if not, then take the next step with that. So construction is going along great. If you drive by the station, you'll see that the construction fencing is up and everything, but they've done the initial grading. They've done the water and electrical plumbing and piping and that type of stuff, and then they were filling in those trenches and stuff this week. So it's really moving along at a nice pace. It's still going to be a year in process, but it's nice they're out there every day. And then on the, if you see on the east side of the police station, right behind the fire station, today they just they got some fencing erected. So on the north side of that parking lot, because we have lost a lot of parking for PD employees, they're fencing in an area over there and putting some security cameras, and it's going to open up about 30 parking spots for us at the police department, so it's going to be extremely helpful. Right now, a number of our employees are parking out in the unsecured area of the police department, so, and especially at night, we don't like them doing that and stuff,
no,
in their personal vehicles. So hopefully in the next week or so that'll be all done, and our folks will have some secured parking available for them, and we'll have some extra parking at the station that'll help alleviate those. Right now we're double and triple parking a lot in the police department, but some relief is coming very quickly on that. So that's what's going on at the police department right now. If you have any questions, happy to answer them.
Well, as usual, you're doing a great job. And I have noticed a difference downtown Palm Drive here. You know, I don't see a lot of homeless at all. And you and the police are very visible now as well. And I really appreciate that. You know, I'm hoping one day if we can fill some of our stores downtown, we'll see tourists again. I really miss that. I mean, I don't see anyone, you know, going up and down anywhere. So that would be nice. So, and the construction is always good to have. That's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I thank you very much. Anyone else? Charles?
Thank you.
Yeah, actually, I had one thing I wanted to address. In one of the local drive-throughs, the homeless people actually witnessed them get between the wall and the vehicle on the driver's side to where they're pinning the driver where they can't leave because they're stuck behind another vehicle. So when I got up to the window, I had told the manager there to contact you guys, and they were like, oh, they never do anything. And I said, well, there's a new sheriff in town, and they're definitely addressing it. So under those circumstances, do you have a pretty quick response time for incidents warranting, or would that actually warrant a response?
Yeah, and typically, yeah, for something like that, especially if it's occurring right there and right then, we'll be able to get somebody out there pretty quick. You know, that type of thing, it will be a high response. They'll try and get our community resource team officers out there first, but if they're not working, they'll send a patrol unit over there. So, yeah, please, I mean, please have them call us. They need to call us because especially those areas are tough for officers to see if they're just out patrolling, if it's down in the drive-through. But please, yeah, if you talk to them, just have them call us, please, and we will respond.
Yeah, because there's been they feel that there's been a lackluster response from law enforcement in the past, and it wasn't until recently that I was aware how much your hands were tied by state laws and whatnot in regards to addressing the homelessness. So if there's a way that we can circulate the word back out to the businesses that there are actually actions you guys can take now, it might help the reputation even more.
Yeah, and we work closely, particularly like if you think about like the Vaughn's Shopping Center or the Stater Brothers Shopping Center, it gets a little bit more tricky because, you know, that's private property, but it's private property that's open to the public. So there's things that we can do right away. Most of the businesses in there, if not all of them, have a no trespass letter on file with the police department, and they have security on site. It's not necessarily 24-hour security, 7 days a week. But if they're not getting a response, if they don't have security, for instance, let's just say it's McDonald's and they don't have, you know, on-site security, then they'll still call us and we can still go out. And if it's not something that we can take enforcement action on, we can at least make a presence there, let them know what needs to be done, let the business know what they can do to help themselves and help secure themselves better, and give them some direction on that.
Okay. Great. Thank you. All right. No one? Okay, thank you. Well, look at it here. We're down to commissioner reports.
You want me to go first?
Yes.
Okay.
Raymond? Ronaldo?
I think this pretty much, well, there's an instance, there's a four-way at Desert View and Miracle Hill. I take it home every day after work, and they're running that stop sign. Like, I almost got hit by a Tesla the other day. And I think I seen it on Facebook, too. Somebody reported it. It was taken care of. Was it? Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, they actually brought that up in the city council meeting night before last.
Good.
The exact same intersection,
I
and they
almost
sent people out on Sunday in the middle of the rainstorm to trim those bushes back. So.
Okay, good. Yeah, I know there was some
Good.
blind spots right there. I think they're just not seeing the stop sign. They're just running.
Oh, I've been here 40 years, and I still blow through it. It catches me by surprise every time I'm there.
Good. I live in, you know, I'm in District 4 up there by Corsini, Hacienda Heights area. There's been reports of people checking doors, car doors at night, things like that. So I just thought I'd bring that up. And then also the road Overlook Drive, there has to be a family there. They're letting their minor kids on mopeds and quads just zooming up and down the street. I almost hit a couple, no helmets, no gear. So I like the fact that you said that you're going to start, mandating some police officers to certain districts. Maybe that'll give more presence to where, because they're just flying through the streets.
Yeah.
It's getting a little, I don't know if you guys noticed, like the motorcycle trend is, they're starting to just ride anywhere. everywhere.
No, exactly. And, one of the issues that we do have is, we get a lot of these motorcycles, little moped type
Moped,
things
yeah,
and stuff, off-road bikes, and they ride on the streets. Typically, it's like a juvenile.
Right.
So a couple things for us. And maybe you saw, I don't know if you saw a post that we recently put out on Facebook where we had one of those. So let me just give you some background. The officers will see those, and we're very careful on whether or not we're going to chase somebody. So typically, they're going to take off from the police.
Right.
So it's looking at weighing that safety to the public, even the safety to that individual that's on that moped,
Right.
for basically what is a traffic infraction. But we've been able recently, we had one instance that we posted up on Facebook. It actually got quite a few likes, where we utilized our drone.
Okay.
And the drone was able to go up, so the officers that were
Yeah,
trying to
that was
stop that
great.
vehicle, they backed off, and the drone just followed that, and that individual actually went out into the desert, came back, went to their house, jumped over the fence, hid the bike in the backyard, went to the house, but the drone watched the whole thing, and the officers went there and actually arrested, it was a juvenile, but they arrested that juvenile.
Wow, that's cool.
And then we had another one just the other day, almost the same circumstances and stuff. So we're utilizing some of the other technology that we have because it's still a big public safety issue and it's a problem. We're just very careful because the last thing we want to do is try and stop one of these individuals. We chase them and then they crash and hurt themselves or kill themselves or
Do you
something
feel
else.
is it important to report that, or if I know the home? Like,
No, we
should I-
do want folks to report
Okay.
it to us so that we know, and particularly for that, because even if an officer is not immediately available, if one of our officers that's drone trained and licensed is able to get the drone up, and that's the nice thing about the drone is it's not just patrol officers. It's our detectives are trained in that, not all of them, but some of our detectives are trained in that, so they can get the drone up and at least start looking, and if they can ID that vehicle, just kind of watch it and see where it goes until an officer is available. And again, the best thing that we try to do is just kind of bed them down, see where they go. But it is an issue. I know it's not only in our community, but other communities, but it's picked up a lot
picked up,
within our area and stuff, and especially because we have a lot of open space and a lot of dead space, and they go from the streets out into the deserts. But there's a time and place to do that,
Right.
and on our roadways not to do it. It's very unsafe. We want the parents, because again, most of this is juveniles that are doing these. We want the parents to know what their kids are doing and let them do it, but do it in the area where it's allowed and it's safe.
Right.
Because we have had some that have crashed, it's just a very unsafe practice for folks to get into. They might think it's fun, but it's not fun once you crash and you hurt yourself or somebody else, for sure.
Last thing, I don't know if Councilman Dirk Voss, I think he probably let you know, free memberships for all law enforcement at the gym. So they want to come by, they just bring their ID and
He has shared that, and we shared that with our folks and stuff, so
Yeah.
yes, I appreciate
whenever,
that.
whenever they
Yes,
want.
thank you.
Oh,
Yep,
nice.
they can
Yeah,
come by.
very good.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Sanchez. Next, Ms. Flores?
Yes, so I just wanted to mention again, the high school on Choya, in the mornings, maybe there could be extra presence there because every morning you see those wacky racers, and there's kids out there and there's other parents with kids, and it's unsafe. So if,
And I'll
Get up
remind.
earlier,
Yeah, I'll remind
you know.
our traffic unit, and he's usually good at getting to the schools and stuff, but I'll remind him to go back there. And I know we're getting close to the end of the school year, so folks are probably anxious.
Yes.
And usually the beginning and the end of the school year is when we see that picking up quite a bit.
yeah, and then the four-way stop over there by the elementary school?
Yes.
Same thing. They think they could do California stops,
Yeah.
and it's unsafe.
Absolutely. And like you saw in my report, 151 citations. So they're out there doing it,
Yeah.
but we'll continue that effort. And unfortunately, some people just don't get it until we get a citation. And citations nowadays are expensive, so folks know it's.
Yes.
And not only taking time off your work, if you're working, you have to go in there and take care of that, but I don't think you're going to find many citations that are less than a few $100s, and then the impact on your insurance company and stuff. So, and the speed or the stop signs, saving yourself a couple extra seconds, it doesn't do
Right.
it. You're
It's
going
not
to end up
worth
at the
it.
same place at the same amount of time and stuff like that.
Yes.
So take a breath and just enjoy the scenery and everything while you're out driving and get from point A to point B safely.
Exactly, and it's going to be a lot more expensive if you get in a car accident and hurt someone.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Could be over. Thank you very much. Mr. Lance?
Now, you're not going to bring up the groundbreaking after all that?
Oh, go ahead.
Well, it's been a minute since we've actually conjured together, so it's been, 2 months. So in that period of time, we had the groundbreaking out there at the police department for their training center, which was nice to attend. But more importantly, the highlight of my last 2 months was attending Chief Shaw's swearing in.
Yes.
And I know he inherited a police department that was already going in the right direction, but then recently for Desert Hot Springs to officially be named or recognized as having the lowest crime rate in the Coachella Valley, as long as I've lived here and as long as they've maintained records, I know that's never happened. So we do recognize it, we appreciate it, and even though the residents of the city sometimes get caught up in the hype of how unsafe the city is, the facts don't support that as an assertion. So we appreciate everything that you're doing to better this community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's it for me.
I'm going to agree with that, and I've been here 60 years, and I've seen it go from the dirt up, and I love every part of our police department, always did, and you're doing a great job, and thank you very much. So that would be me. The only other thing that I wanted to say is that I drive past the fire department, the new fire department, and it's so exciting. It's so big and beautiful, up on, what is it? Yeah. Long Canyon. Yeah, I'm really impressed with that. And then I am impressed with when you said cameras, outside cameras. Do we have more, or you just do as you go for things? Do we have any extra somewhere that?
We have a number, so around the police department, yes, but around the city, yes. We utilize what's called flock cameras.
Okay.
They're license plate reader cameras, so
good.
they assist us. We don't watch them live or anything like that. They don't look inside vehicles, but they help us if we're looking for a particular vehicle, and we have them strategically placed throughout the city, and they're a great tool for our investigators and officers, for sure.
Yes, very good. I still see a lot of, in the middle of a street, when they do their turns, the cars. What do you call them? Donuts. I know it was Chief Shaw that had explained. I said, how do they do that? What do I know? But it's still, what's the thrill? And it's so dangerous, is it not? Or?
It's very dangerous, and it's the sideshows. Some of them, they turn into bigger sideshows where they actually have spectators watching them, but they're extremely dangerous because you're doing just that. You're skidding out the car and sliding the car, and you don't have control over the car when that happens. And it is not uncommon at all where you have either pedestrian bystanders that are watching it that get hit by the car, or a lot of times on those side shows, you'll see people that are in the cars hanging outside the cars, and they get thrown from the vehicles and stuff. We've been fortunate that we haven't had any serious incidents like that, but we do have those cars that occasionally will go through intersections and do that. And again, that's one thing that, again, we still want to know about it, and we'll try and get an officer right. Typically, they'll do it and then take off, but we still want to know about it, that it's going on. So please call car dispatch if folks see that.
Okay, thank you. That's about it for me as well. I want to thank Jan Pye for attending our meeting, our council member. And what I still would like our city attorney to come and speak. Then it will be, another person, four of us, all five, but to explain what our duties are and how far we do go. I think it should be made very clear. And that would help all of us to know what we can and cannot do. And then that budget doesn't come up till July or June or June?
Yes, the budget is currently in development, so yes,
Okay.
I'd say right about June.
And then we could discuss that, okay. Well, I have nothing else. We have nothing else? My goodness, we are adjourned at 6:35. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. Okay.